Many friends shared a video which shows one Satish Bappa Govekar along with Sarpanch and some Panch members of Nashnala village Panchayat speaking about a pipeline being laid allegedly for a mega project at Gawar, Aldana. Also, WhatsApp messages are being circulated with falsehoods and false comments. What I detest, not just in this case, but in any other case, is when someone makes a video without a minimum study. And I feel that this is being done. Firstly, it could be to malign someone's name or image, or secondly, it could be an act of some revenge against somebody, or thirdly, it could be to gain popularity because many people like to bring out videos and get traction, and I don't know what they get out of it, or it could be for extortion. And this video was being shared by people clearly opposed to me with complete false comments and messages. Now, about this video of this pipeline, I checked the facts. This project, which they call a mega project, is a project of villas with swimming pools, which is, I am told, not complete, and I am also told they have not applied for any water connection as of now. On the side of this project, not even along, on the side, different place, are 9 private bungalows of our Goans. And this pipeline is being laid for these houses of these Goans and not for the project of these villas. This pipeline is not connected to this villa project. Now the question is, why did Bappa and the Sarpanch of Nashnala and other Panch members of VP Nashnala make this video without studying? Is Bappa in the habit of making videos without studying? Bappa stays in Nashnala and he is a Panch member of Nashnala Panchayat. I am glad that other Panch members of the village Panchayat and Sarpanch have come to speak about Delhi cars. Have they opposed project of any of these so-called Delhi cars in their own Panchayat? Bappa stays in Zoidar Wado, about 2 kilometers away from this site at Gawar. But below the house of Bappa, hardly 100 meters down the slope, is another project which is coming up. It is of several bungalows. Has Bappa not seen it? Has he not raised any objection to it? Was he not in the Panchayat and passed the project? What about water issues when water connection is given for this project? Now, to the Sarpanch, to Bappa and the other Panch members who are present and maybe who are not present also in this video, I want you to give me an explanation about these projects. These answers I got on the floor of the Legislative Assembly. Survey number 50/11A, all these are Nashnala by the way, project of 8 villas and swimming pool. In 2024, 50/11B, 7 residential houses, swimming pool. Survey number 50/11C, residential house, clubhouse and security cabin. Survey number 50/11D, residential villas. Survey number 50/11E, 3 villas, pool and wall. And in 2024, 50/11F, 11 residential houses with swimming pool. Again this same number 50/11F, another approval is shown of 8 residential houses with swimming pool and compound wall. So this survey number 50/11 with so many subdivisions, even taking the last one to be 8 villas instead of 11, it becomes about 27 villas with swimming pools. After this, there is survey number 51/1, 10 residential villas with swimming pool, which is passed in 2022. Again in 2022, survey number 21/5, 4 villas with swimming pool. This is just a list of these projects approved between 2022 to 24. I have not mentioned other individual villas with swimming pool. These are just the big projects I have shown. This time, these Panch members of VP Nationala did not think of water problems of Sainagar and Ramtole and other areas of Nationala and surrounding areas. Now you know that how people are not getting water. आता येयल्यात ते ह्या सायडीन प्रोजेक्ट पास करतात स्विमींग पूल आनी बंगलोचे आनी गांवार वयतात बोवाड करतात आनी सांगतात सायनगर आनी रामतोळ्या उदो ना नाशनला उदो ना कसले फोकाणां हे लोकांक फटोवपाक येयले आनी मागीर म्हणपा आमदाराचे ब्लेम करपाक हांव पंचायती बसतां फायल पास करपाक हे लोकांनी ऑब्जेक्शन काडलां हे लोकांनी कन्स्ट्रक्शन लायसन्स दिलें ना हांव एक चॅलेंज दिता तांकां हे सगळे सर्वे नंबर दिले ते रिप्लाय करात तुमी एक एक केस काढात फायल काढात आनी सांगात तुमी कितें केलें तें आनी कितें करून परमिशन दिलें तें आतां हांव विचारूंक सोदतां हे आतां प्रोजेक्ट आहा तो गांवार 2 किलोमिटर्स पयस सांगता बाउंड्रीचे आनी उदक मेळना म्हूण हे तुमी गेले घरा सायडीन आहा तें गांवांत आहात ते तुमी ओपोज करनात ते तुमी पास करतात कसले फोकाणां हे कसले लोक तुमी हांव कितें चिंतपाचें बाप्पा आयज बीजेपीचो मेंबर म्हणटा काल खूंय आशिल्लो तेन्ना ना आयज बीजेपी ना फाल्यां खूंय आसतो तो हांव नेना एक व्हिडिओ करता तो व्हिडिओ परत परत व्हिडिओ काडटा बीजेपी स्टॅश घालून आनी म्हाका लॉस दिसता असलें काम करता तेन्ना शिंकनासतना व्हिडिओ काडटात असेंब्लीन हांवें एक कॉलिंग अटेंशन काडलोलें ते मेगा प्रोजेक्ट्स आहात ते दिवपाचे न्ही म्हूण केन्ना उदकाचें शॉर्टेज आहा आनी पंचायत मिनिस्टरान प्रॉब्लम एक्नॉलेज केला की प्रॉब्लम आसा म्हण सो हांवें हिशोब काडला पासून कित्याक म्हाका नाका की लोकांक त्रास जाल्ले म्हण कित्याक आयज आम आसात प्रोजेक्ट येतलो आमक उदो मेळचना आनी तें हांवें म्हणलां असेंब्लीन कोण आहात ते पयले गांवांत तांकां उदो मेळचना हे येतात ते व्हडले व्हडले प्रोजेक्ट स्विमींग पूल बांदतले आनी आमच्या लोकांक उदो नासतलें हांवें ते असेंब्लीचें म्हणलो तें हांव उलयलो तें हांवें स्पेसिफिकली म्हणलां आमी प्रोजेक्ट पास करता आसतना परमिशन दिता आसतना कॅरींग कॅपेसिटी करूंक जाय म्हण सरकारान स्टडी करून आनी कॅरींग कॅपेसिटी प्रमाणे मागीर परमिशन दिवपाचें हांवें तो हिशोब काडलोलो आनी सगळ्यांनी सपोर्ट केलो म्हाका आनी तशें मिनिस्टरान पासून सांगलां वय हें फरें म्हण प्रॉब्लम आसा कॅरींग कॅपेसिटी करूंक जाय हांव देखून म्हणटा हांव बेश्टो उलयना हांव बेश्टो कितें काडना आनी हिशोब जेन्युइन ते लोक म्हणटात गोंय पासून म्हणटात कॅरींग कॅपेसिटी आसूं जाय म्हण आनी हांवें असेंब्लीन काडला सो हांव एक उलयना आनी दुसरें करता तशें कांय ना आनी हांव पंचायत खंयच्या पंचायतीन हांव इंटरफियर जायना कोणें म्हाका फोन केल्यार सांगपाक कोणा प्रॉब्लम आसा जाल्यार तेन्ना पंचायती फोन करून इन्सातां कितें जालां आनी कित्याक तेंगे फायल उरल्या हांव एसो ब्रोकर न्ही आनी एजंट न्ही हांव लोकां आपयना मुगे ऑफिसान नाल्यार तेंगे घरा वचना वा तेंगे खंय वचना सांगपा तूं मुको फायल दी हांव पास करून घेतलो असलें काम केन्ना केलें ना हांव कोचना पासून
Honorable Speaker, former Union Minister Suresh Prabhun सांगलोलें कॅरींग कॅपेसिटी आमचे गांवांचे काडूंक जाय म्हणून सगळे हांसपा लागले आनी जोक्स करताले मागीर हांव मेळ्ळो तेन्ना बासोरात चलोन वयता तेन्ना तें म्हाका सांगलां कितें तें कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ कॅरींग कॅपेसिटी आनी म्हणलें आमचे गांव आहा ते अर्बन जातले आनी अर्बन म्हणल्यार मागीर आमचे गोंयाचे गांव आहा ते कावर जातले So I believe that this urbanization will change the nature and character of our villages and there will be a major shift in a demographic pattern. Our character of the villages and its soul will be lost. Right now we are facing problems about road, we are also having problems relating to spaces and we are having problems relating to water. And now with the regulations which you are bringing, you are reducing even the time frames of Panchayat to decide whether they will not even have time to go for inspections and all that. And this will be a major problem which they will face. So I have to, my first question which I want to put, you have given me the answers by saying that the village Panchayats have not carrying out any demographic or the carrying capacity has not been carried out. But at the end of the day, it is by your directions they are bound to carry out the, approve them and give them the construction licenses. Now, what can you make amendment in the law so as to make this mandatory, so as to ease the burden of the locals who are residing, so that the carrying capacity can be analyzed and in the context of the Gram Sabhas, I am not talking of single units, I'm not talking of a few units, but when it comes to multiple units, large units, what we call mega projects, or these big gated colonies which come, which change the democratic pattern, which are now invading my constituency. Already it is now in other parts of the coastal areas of Bardes and other places in Salsette have already come, especially the coastal belts, where you have huge villas like 90 villas or flats and all which are coming. What kind of an assurance can you give as to do this? My first question.
Because I think what the Honorable Member Carlos Ferreira is asking, Spashpade, very clearly the answer has been given in my written answer. But I also appreciate his concern that the demographic entire thing is, and demography is going to change. You are going to have unabated development in villages everywhere in Goa where we used to not see any development. हांव तेका मुद्दम सांगपा सोदता. Today also as you move in entire Goa, it becomes very difficult to distinguish between a rural area and an urban area. That's why a new term also is being used, calling it urban. Which is rural, which is urban, you cannot make out.
How specific my pointed question is. Poile, you have a 2012 opinion of the learned Advocate General which was given, and the Director of Panchayat says that the Gram Sabha cannot take decisions on construction licenses, and that is being followed in letter and spirit. If the Panchayat rejects, now you are giving an appeal to the BDO or to the Deputy Director, who will override the Panchayat and say you'll have to give, because if the town planning parameters are met, they have to give. So there's no option. Now, in this background, when the Panchayats are virtually becoming like post offices, virtually like post office, because if TCP clearance is there, they are bound to give it, unless they find some discrepancy on title or some road issue which is not available. Otherwise, the rest they are bound to put a stamp and give it. Our specific question is, what way can you, as a Panchayat Minister, permit the amendment of the Panchayat Raj Act to take these factors into consideration, which can be considered by a Panchayat when giving the construction license?
Speaker, sir, Honorable Carlos Ferreira is a learned advocate. I cannot amend the Panchayati Raj in such a way, things what have been cleared by other departments. As he says, yes, it is like a post office only. But they nevertheless hold the projects. And you know the reasons why in certain Panchayats, certain huge projects are being held up. And only after certain things happen, they get cleared. You and I know it, the entire house knows it. I don't want to say that in the house, but as against that background, Speaker sir, जे ऑलरेडी आमकां प्रपोजल क्लियर जावन येता, पीडीएन आसून दी, बाकीचे परमिशन, एनवायरमेंटल क्लियरन्स आसून दी, बाकीचे आसून दी, पंचायत कशें हाडयतले? Can I get a law to obstruct that? As you rightly say, Gram Sabha may say we don't want, but that does not mean to say Gram Sabha can stop it. Then they go in appeal, they have to give the decision which is legally correct, and then the projects come up. Speaker sir, एक आमी realize जावपा जाय, development per se stop करपा जायना. आता डेव्हलपमेंट येता तेन्ना येस तांकां उदक जाय पडटा, तांकां लायट जाय पडटा, ते बाकीचे अवेलेबिलिटी दिता. इट इज वेदर द चिकन केम फर्स्ट और द एग केम फर्स्ट. डेव्हलपमेंट जाले म्हणटच ऑटोमॅटीक थिंगा ट्रान्सफॉर्मर येता, व्हडल्यो लायन्यो येता, कॅपॅसिटी सबस्टेशन येता, रस्ते रूंद जाता. दॅट कम्स आफ्टरवर्ड, सबसिक्वेंटली इट हॅपन्स. So this is a exercise which is always going to be continuous. And Goa that way is the most preferred destination, not only by tourists, of having second homes now. That's why people have now started to move in the interiors. You realize that, you and I realize that, but what can you do? We are in the Union of India, we sometimes fail to realize that.
See, I think Honorable Minister has not perfectly understood what I am trying to say. When the town planning decides, the town planning looks at it from a planning point of view, whether your plot size, whether your zone is correct, whether this permissible development is permissible, but it's not concerned about the impact on the village. Please understand this. This can be only looked at by a Panchayat, and if you don't have the provision, that's what I'm trying to say. The provision does not exist, you acknowledge it. And each department will give, subject to availability, build a swimming pool, get water. Do you know whether they get the water by tanks? They're getting water from our drinking water they're putting in it. So my thing is, at least to that extent, where the village Panchayat can decide on this need for this carrying capacity, which they can make an assessment. At least to enable, otherwise you have no jurisdiction, you have no statutory power, because unless the statute is amended, you don't give them power. If you can't allow the village panchayats to do it, why can the government not carry out such exercise using experts? Because I know, आमचे गावांचे पोंबुरपा ओलावली, आमचे आल्दोना, उकसाई, मोयरा आणि बास्तोरा हे 100 गांव आमचे आहात ते नॅशनला 100 पंचायत आसात ते. हांव कोंकणीन कित्याक सांगता, दुसरे आयकतले आनी म्हणटले मागीर अरे हे बरे आहात म्हणून येतले गोंयांत, म्हाका नाका म्हूण. If you are having this kind of a situation which is erupting across the villages, and I think need is, and you are recognizing that people are coming for second homes, not it is coming for necessity of a home, as a second luxury home. So, and at the cost of us who live over here, and very often these luxury homes, second homes are being used as rent back or whatever, on these B&B and whatever those kind of things. Airbnb. So Airbnb. So no, Airbnb is a company. There's a bread and breakfast that is under the tourism department. So there are two differences on that. So my thing is, at the cost of us who are already there, we suffer with this kind of development which keeps coming. Uncontrolled, I use this word. So at least that is the demand. If you can't make an amendment, at least why don't you make a provision for the government to carry out the carrying capacity in each of these villages?
And about this WhatsApp message which are forwarded by several people, where they claim I'm with the builders and claim I'm supporting the illegalities in panchayats. I don't know any builders who are doing this villa construction in my constituency or even outside my constituency. I've not met them, nor I have any connection with them. I could have been a lawyer for them even before I entered politics. I repeat, I'm not even a lawyer for these builders even today. The messages which claim that the water pipeline is being laid for these villa projects and that I give talks and do opposite in reality are complete false statements without checking the facts. This shows that these messages are pure fake and pure politics. एक PA ex-MLA चो आशिल्लो तो कॉन्ट्रॅक्टर तो बिल्डराचो तेन्ना आनी मेगा प्रोजेक्ट्स करतात तेन्ना दुसरे प्रोजेक्ट करतात तेन्ना हे लोक प्रोटेस्ट करनात, हे बंद करनात, हे कितें वगे आहात. आनी दुसरे पंचायत इन्क्लुडींग नॅशनला पंचायत प्रोजेक्ट पास करतात. आतां पळय कितले प्रोजेक्ट, हे हांवें हे मोठे प्रोजेक्ट दाखयले, ते बारीक प्रोजेक्ट आहात ते विलाज विथ स्विमींग पूल्स पास करतात तेन्ना बाप्पाक आनी सरपंचाक उगडास ना सायनगरा उदो ना म्हणून आनी रामतोळ्या उदो ना म्हणून आनी दुसरे जाग्यार नॅशनला सद्दां प्रॉब्लम जाता म्हूण फकत आतां जागे जाले उलोवपाक कितें इलेक्शन आहा म्हणून आनी सद्दां डेली पास जाता तुमचे फायल्यो. सांगात कित्याक पास जातात ते लोकांक सांगात तुमी ऑब्जेक्शन काडलें म्हूण. तुमी वसात थिंगां ते प्रोजेक्ट बंद करात, चोया कितें जातलें तें. हांव परमिशन दितां टावन प्लॅनिंगाचो, हांव कन्वर्शन्सानात दिता, हांव फॉरेस्ट आनी CRZ क्लियरन्स दिता. तुमी जाणात एक परमिशन सगळे BJP सरकार दिता. ह्या लोकांनी केन्ना तांकां क्वेश्चन केला? क्वेश्चन म्हाका कोत्तात एज इफ हांव सरकार म्हूण. आनी पळय तुमी थोडे आहात ते कॅम्पेनींग करतात इलेक्शनाक, तेच जमीन चोरून आहात ते लँड ग्रॅबर्स ते थोड्यांनी पासून इल्लिगली घोर बांदलात आनी हे म्हणटात आतां थोडे आहात ते पासून तेंचे भाटां पासून विकल्यात असले देल्लीकारांक, नाल्यार ब्रोकर म्हूण वाटां विकले दुसऱ्यांचे आनी आतां ते येतात फुड्यान सांगपाक आमी गोंय साल्वार करूं जाय म्हण. आवय देवान धाडले अशे ह्या लोकांक. हांव हें कित्याक विडियो करतां, हें करेक्ट फॅक्ट्स लोकांक कळोवपाक. हांव लोकांक मागतां असले फोटो मारतात ते मातशें आयकून घेयनाकात. हे सगळे फोटो हे सगळे रोग्स म्हणटा हांव तांकां. हेंकां उबी केल्ले. तुमी पळय कोण लिपोवन आहात ते फाटल्यान तुमी कट्टले. व्हडले मास्टर आहात ते, तेंगे दोळे आहात आल्दोना कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सीचे आनी ते येवपाक सोदतात थिंगा आल्दोना काबार करपाक. आमी ओपोज करतात देखून, आमी क्वेश्चन विचारतात देखून हेंकां बॉल लागना आनी मागीर पयशे करूंक जायना लोकां कडेन. आनी दुसरी पार्ट्स ऑफ गोवा डिस्ट्रॉय केले. आतां हे फाटल्यान आहात ते आतां आल्दोनाचे दोळे दवरले देखून आनी तांकां चान्स मेळना देखून म्हाका ओपोज करूंक सोदतात ते. सो आय रिपीट, हांव बिल्डराचो मनीस न्ही, हांव बिल्डराचो आदवोगाद न्ही, हांव हे बिल्डरां पासून ओळखना. म्हाकाय सांगलां कितल्या लोकांनी ते घरां थोडे वयतात फोट मारतात मुजेर कितें सांगतात म्हण हांव इलेक्शनाक बसलो ना ही ZP इलेक्शन म्हूण BJPचे कांय उलयनात ते दुसरे पक्षाचे कांय उलयनात फकत म्हजें नांव घाण करूं सोदतात हे लोकांक मातशे ट्रस्ट करनाका ते येतात तेन्ना तूं विचारात कसले प्रूफ आसा जाल्यार कोडा ते सोरोप हे फाटल्यानसून हे हार्डकोर BJP लवर्स ते फोटकिरे आनी हे तेंचे गेम ते आमचे वोट फोडपाक आनी BJPक जिखोवन दिवपाक ते सगळे म्हज्यान सांगूं जाता दे आर ऑन BJP पेरोल.
तुम्ही पळयतात गोंयकारपण गोंयकारांचो गोंयकारा खातीर.